Hi, guys. Welcome back to the She Who Leads podcast. And Happy New Year to everyone. Wow, 2025 is over. And we started a new year. It's just, I don't know how about you, but 2025 has felt so long and so short at the same time for me. And I just, I think I just shifted so much within me and that completely turned my life upside down in the best way possible. This was the year that I moved forward on my soul pool the best, and not the best, the most amount in just like 1 year. So it's been like a very worldwide journey. Like it was a roller coaster. I wouldn't get off, to be honest. And I'm very, very curious about 2026. So far, I had a very interesting start to this whole year, and I will tell you about this, I think, in a bit. But for today, I brought you a topic that I feel like will help a lot with just like starting the soul business. And I feel a lot of the times where people get stuck with this, like, yeah, of course, first of all, it's like, I don't know what my purpose is. So, what is my soul pool? What is my purpose? That's the main thing. I will get into that. Actually, I did an episode about that, I think. I will check. If I did, I already did that episode. I don't remember. I will put that in the description, like pointers on how to start to find your soul pull, your purpose. But the next thing that people get like stuck on is like, oh, okay, so I kind of have like a grasp of what I should do, or like I am having like bits and pieces of it, because a lot of the times you will only have bits and pieces. I have to tell you this. But like, how do I do it? But how do I start with this? Like, do I quit my job? Do I not? Do I don't quit my job? Like, do I start to build a business? But like, what if I won't have enough time to build that business? And like, would it be better if I focus on it like full time? And there's just so many questions and confusion that can come with this. Like the exact first steps of like, okay, so physically, how do I start with this? How what is the best way for me to start with the business? And this episode is meant to help you with that. I will bring you the two main ways you can start with your soul business. Also, I actually will bring you three main ways you can start with your soul business and help you see which one to pick to who. Is that correct? So I will help you see which way is better for which type of person, which type of situation, how you can go about basically deciding which one is the best for you, because at the end of the day it will come down to what is best for you, and I will talk about this a lot in this episode and how you can find that. So yeah, my goal is at the end of this episode you will have a clarity on, okay, so I have these options, I have the pointers of how to evaluate these options, and if I go through this process, I am so much more clear on which one is the best for me right now. That's the goal. That's the gist. This is what we are diving in right now. Okay. So, without any fluff, first path of building the soul business is a transition. This is how I called it, the transition. And that would basically mean starting your business on the side. Okay, look, this is the side hustle business. I don't like the word hustle. I really, really don't like the word hustle. Like, this is starting the business on the side. This is starting to build the business, go about with your soul pool, learning what you need to learn to be able to build that business on the side while you still have a job, while you still have something that supports you financially. And why this path is very good is because it has less uncertainty. It gives you a sense of stability that you can build on. And This is very important when you are building a sole business, because that would require creativity. That would require you to be able to take risks, to be able to do things differently, to not be afraid of trying and failing and testing a bunch of different things, to move forward. Like, that is the main thing of the sole business, of like really trying a bunch of different things and failing a lot of them, on a lot of them, yes, and then very like slowly but surely, and slow, it's like, again, different for every person. Slow can be 3 months, slow can be 3 years, slow can be like whatever. Anyhow, like, slowly but surely finding the tools, the methods, the solutions that makes you unique, that you can bring into this world, and that requires creativity. So this path can give you that. On the other side, because you have a job, which could be either a part-time job, it could be a full-time job, again, depends on your preference and depends on your opportunities. But because you have a big chunk of your time already occupied, you will need commitment, you will need devotion on this type of path. Like, if you are a person who just like very easily folds when things get tough and things get like tiring and exhausting, because this route is not a, I don't know, vacation route in a sense. It can still be super fun and fulfilling, but it will require energy. It will require you giving up some extra time, extra free time, to devote that on building the business, to give that to your soul pool. So you will need the devotion that will fuel you through this journey, through this path. Because without that, the first week of your job being tough, or you feeling like you are missing out on stuff, or you feeling like your freedom is minimized, you will give up. And you don't want to give up on your soul pool. Please don't give up on your soul pool ever. So that's the two sides basically of this path. And I had experience with this path. So actually, I had experience with all of the paths here. I had experience with this. I was building my business by actually working on the job that I had. And it was actually amazing for me at the time, because it gave me the freedom. Again, it gave me the sense of security, which I really, really needed at that point. And I will get into this a bit more detail, like how that security helps. But I really needed the security to be able to feel like, oh, okay, on my free time, I can focus on doing this coaching course that will help me launch my business, right? So I also want you to expand a bit your views on what actually building the business means, because sometimes building the business will mean that you are learning a new skill. You are doing a certification that you will need to be able to start that business. I wouldn't have been able to start my business, my sole business, without doing the coaching program, the sole purpose coaching program that I did. Maybe you can argue with that. I felt like I needed the tools, the skill set, the practice of the coaching that this course provided me, to be able to feel like, oh, okay, I am ready to work with clients now, or as ready as I could feel at that time. But I needed that, and that was part of building my business. And at that time, the decision I needed to make, because I was actually transitioning from having my own marketing business, from like, oh, okay, I actually want to transition into a coaching business. And I made the decision for myself that, okay, to this, for me to work the best way possible, I actually need to not worry about getting clients, not need to worry about if I get enough clients a month, not to worry about marketing and promotion and all the stuff that you are doing in your business. I just want a steady paycheck to know that, okay, I am set financially. So all the free time I have can go into, not all the one, that all the free time I want to devote to this course I can give this to this course without feeling like I don't know, have to be present somewhere else, right? So that was a very big thing in my decision why I decided to go to, okay, I'm actually getting a supporting job to help me move along on my soul pool, to help me start to build the actual soul business that I felt like, oh yeah, this could be the thing that actually gives me the most fulfillment and joy and everything that it actually is giving me. So coming from that, I want you to think about, so one thing, first of all, like this supporting job that we are talking about. So in this setting, in this path, you will have a supporting job. Like that is the best thing that you can do for yourself, to think about this job as something that supports you. And when you start to shift your focus to, oh, okay, I'm actually, this job that I'm doing right now is not the main course. It is just like supporting me to get to this goal that I have, to get to build this business that I want to build. It will shift so many things within you. So what makes a good supporting job? Because again, I think where a lot of people, specifically with this route, maybe feel like they have a hard time is that they already have a job that is very demanding. They already have a job that takes a lot of their energy, takes a lot of their effort, takes a lot of their mental space for whatever reason. And at the end of the day, they feel so tired and exhausted and just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Drenched, like mentally drenched. Drenched? Yeah. Let's go with that. That they just don't have the capacity to be creative, that they don't have the capacity to think about new stuff, to invent new stuff, to test and try and build a website and think about how they can help people and start a course or sign up for like a program that actually demands their attention and energy and presence. So what you can do about this, and again, this may not sound easy, but I promise you, actually, it's much more easier than you would imagine it to be. If you want a good supporting job, if you really are set on this route and set to transition into your soul business with the help of a supporting job, you need to find a supporting job. And if your current job is not supporting you, and I will go through 3 ways you can figure out if your current job is supporting you or not. If your current job is not supporting you in this, you need to find another job. There's just no really other way around it, because until this job is taking up more of your energy and creativity and skills that you could actually use on building your soul business, it will always be this weird dance of wanting to perform on the job that I actually don't like, and also feeling like I don't have enough energy for the business that I actually want to build. And it will create so much anger and resentment and exhaustion and tiredness. So it's just not a fun place to be. Really not a fun place to be. I was there. It's not a fun place to be. So what makes a good supporting job? Like what I said, it first of all, it doesn't put too much how did I phrase this? Doesn't put you too much out of your comfort zone, meaning it doesn't take up too much mental space. It doesn't take up too much creativity. You don't feel like you have to, I don't know, save the world through this job. You don't feel like you have to perform too much. It's like basically it's not something that you learn from scratch, or not something that is so emotionally draining. For example, maybe you have a job that is like filled with workplace politics, which is, it is draining you so much. So it's not draining you emotionally, not draining you mentally, not taking up too much of your mental space. You don't feel like you are super exhausted after the end of your workday. Of course, you will be exhausted, but like not like, oh my God, I don't have another brain cell that is working in me type of exhausted. So that's a very, very big, big, big thing with the supporting job. The other thing that you should look out for is that it's not too comfortable either. So again, we are looking for this fine line between, it's a bit out of my comfort zone, and I will tell you how, but also not too much that it drains me. Yeah. I was going to say like, yeah, that sounds hard to find, and it sounds like it. It's actually not as hard. Again, I will tell you my story with my job. So it's not too comfortable, and in a sense of not too comfortable, I mean specifically financially. So you want to look for a job that provides you enough that you feel safe within your expenses and everything, but not too much that it will make you too comfortable. Because when you start to make too much money, the ego starts to kick in, and the ego will say like, oh, we have a good thing going on here, like we can buy the things that we want, we can go to places where we want to go, we can, like, I don't know, like numb the emptiness and dissatisfaction and joylessness of this work with buying stuff. That's what the ego do. The ego does, sorry. And it will keep you in that job for so much more longer than you actually are supposed to be in that supporting job or in the workplace that you are right now, because it's just too comfy. And our human sides really, really, really want the comfy, which is fine. I love comfort too, but again, growth comes from discomfort. Growth comes from wanting to having problems and wanting to solve them, right? So again, you're looking for a sweet spot where you are earning enough money that you feel safe, but not earning as much money that you feel comfortable. That's your second uh, thing with the supporting job. And the third one is, I like to find a job that it still helps you feel like that you are learning and growing from it. Like you are learning new things, you are using the skills that you actually have, and you can nourish those skills, nourish the gifts that you are actually have. So don't just try to find like a super, I don't know, I don't want to use the word menial here, but like because it's not the right word. So you want to find a job that makes you feel like you are still able to grow at this place. Because when you don't have that sense of, oh, actually I'm learning here, this is adding to my life, um, this is helping me become something more, whatever you want to call it. When you don't have that with anything, but let's just talk about the job now. When you don't have that with the job, you will really very, very, very soon start to get bored, start to get resentful of what you are doing, because you will feel like it's a waste of time. The soul and the ego actually working together, they will tell you like, oh, okay, so this has actually like no meaning to it. This doesn't make any sense that I do this. It's boring. I done this a million times. There's just no newness in it. I want to do something else. I don't want to do this. That it puts you in that type of headspace of, oh, I actually have no will today to wake up and go do this job, because it will be the same as yesterday and the day before and the day before, and I just had enough. And I just want to lay in bed and do nothing. So that's also very important. So your three things that you have to go through when you are finding that supporting job and also evaluating your own job right now is it comfortable? Does this give me financial safety but not making me too comfortable financially? That's your first thing you think about. Does this job is this job still in my comfort zone, meaning that it doesn't drain me emotionally, um, it doesn't drain me mentally, it doesn't uh, feels that doesn't like gives me anxiety of like wanting to perform and stuff like that, right? Like I have free capacity after the end of my shift, my work day, whatever you are doing right now or wanting to do. And the third is, does this job still help me grow in any way? Am I learning new skills? Am I able to nourish the skills that I have? Can I try new things in the job that I am doing? So look at these 3 pointers, look at these 3 factors, and evaluate your job right now. Or if you are on a lookout, like go look at the job opportunities through this lens. And I promise you, when you find a job like this, it will help you so much with starting to build that business, because you will have the free capacity mentally and emotionally. You will have the safety of, I have income, I can actually take risks, I can use my creativity, I have time to try and fail at a bunch of things, because I'm good, I'm good financially, I'm okay, I'm not comfortable, but I'm okay. And yeah, I'm learning new stuff. I am actually using skills that I can use in my business, right? I am able to sharpen skills or learn new skills that I will be able to use in my business. And I will do like a whole other podcast episode on how you can actually mix and match that, because I don't want you to feel like you have to have a job that is actually related to the business that you want to build, because it's not how this works. It's a very, very different way of thinking about using skills and finding skill sets to implement into your business. But just keep that in mind. Just have that on the back burner of your mind to okay, I want to be able to nurture and use skills that I will probably use in my business in the supporting job too. So who's this path? When to choose this path? It's a very good opportunity, a very good way for starting a business if you are, if you need the safety more, if you're a person who freezes when stress comes in, when you have like pressure freezes you or stops you from doing things, this is a very good path for you, because otherwise your creativity will be blocked. Like whenever we feel unsafe, we instantly go into survival mode, and our creativity like drops by a lot, like a lot. And when you have that, when you're the person who needs like an amount of safety, usually financially, to be able to be creative and work on new stuff, like that, this is an amazing path for you. It's also an amazing path if you have like family or other financial commitments that you are currently like in, or have family to take care of, because again, when you feel like money is tight and you have to like scramble for money, it will take up so much your mental and emotional capacity, because again, we tie our safety to money so much. And you want to minimize that unsafety while you are building this business as much as you can, because oh my god, I'm so sorry, it's super snowy here, and just like the snow started to fall from the buildings. I got so scared. Wow. Anyhow, uh, you want that, you need that creativity to be able to build a soul business, to be able to explore the very different ways that you are here to help. Okay, the next path that you can start to build a business is what I call the blind dive. And that's basically the clean break, like when you are clean breaking from everything that you did before, quit the job, close the business, do whatever you need, and you start the business full time, like start your new soul business full time. And it's an amazing way to people who feel like they you really start to burn all the bridges behind them to not wanting to go back to safety, and need that type of freedom and creativity and space to feel really really no the time that they need that type of freedom to be able to be creative, to be able to tap into their true creativity. So that's amazing for you if you're that type of person. It's also amazing for you if you work good under pressure. So if you work very good when there's a fire lit under your ass, then this bet is super, super, super good for you. I also will have like some notes on how you can make this like a very good route, but that's a very good way to choose that. I'm actually, in a way, that type of person. And you also don't feel like you need to take care of other people. You don't feel the responsibility for others, because again, when responsibility for others comes into the mix, it really shifts our sense of safety, because it's not just about me. Like maybe you are a big risk taker, but I don't know, you're a parent, and as a parent you are not taking risks because again there's other people depending on you, like your kids, your spouse. And the amount of risk that you are able to take when you are alone is so much higher, understandably so much higher. Again, I'm not taking into account the financial situation of the family. Maybe your family's financial situation makes you able to take risks, which is amazing. Like then, and if you're a person who are fine with risks and actually like taking risks, like go for it. Like this is your route, because in this path you have so much time and freedom to figure out the way that you can help best to build the business, to test different things, to um, fail a bunch of times, because that's part of it. I won't lie to you, that's really part of it. That's actually the best and fastest route to make a successful business from your soul pool, to fail so much in the beginning and fails in so many different ways and so many different offers and everything. So you get out all of the failure of the way, and then you can finally get that thing that like, oh my god, it was right here all along under my nose. But I actually, then you see like, oh, I really needed to fail and all of these different things, so they won't wander in my mind so much. uh what I also did this. I I did the blind dive too. And what I learned from this, so what happened for me is actually, it's super interesting, because so I did the transition to from my marketing business to that job, that marketing job. It was actually a supporting job, like in all ways, until it wasn't, because at some point it started to take like a big, big, big mental, emotional toll on me. Like every day, like I was exhausted, I couldn't think, I just had, I don't know, I just like couldn't care less about anything else. I just like wanted to rest and recharge. And then the time I could have spent on starting to build a business and creating content, and this was the time actually I was already doing the course, and I was like, I could be creating content right now, but I just don't have the energy. I just don't have the mental capacity to think about the things that I would want to talk to people. So I at some point I realized like, oh my god, I really need to quit this job. Like I really need to, like, I don't have anything else. And again, like I didn't have anything else on the back burner. I didn't have another job offer. I didn't have clients at that point from my marketing business. Like I really broke off that too, because at that point in my life on my soul pool, I really believed that I don't want to do any marketing or business related stuff anymore. Boy, was I wrong. That's a story for another podcast. But it's actually a very interesting story on how, like shifting identities and releasing stuff helps you find your soul pool much better at the end. I will get into that in another episode. So I decided that, yeah, I will quit. And I have to tell you, I'm really the most anxious person you ever meet. Like anytime there's like a whisper of unsafety or uncertainty, or I want to say I was that person. It was like, oh my God, what will happen? I don't know what will happen. And again, like my mind was like to the worst scenario right away and just like locked into that. Anyhow, I worked out the process to calm myself down and make like a aligned soulful decision on that situation. And I quit the job, long story short. And I really didn't have anything else. Like I really didn't have anything else to support me financially. What I had, and that was the extra thing that I wanted to talk to you with this path, is I was very mindful and very deliberate about my financial situation. Again, I want you to lock this into your brain that creativity needs some form and measure of safety. If you feel unsafe, you unsafe in a sense of like in survival mode, unsafe, your creativity really, really, really drops. You can still think creatively, but like in that type of survival mode when the trauma responses kick in and your fight or flight kicks in, it's very, very, very hard to be able to be creative for a long time. And I think that's the differentiation what I make. Like on the spot when danger hits, yes, we are super creative. Like we are coming up with creative solutions all the time to derail the danger, and that's fine. This is how we are built. But what I'm talking about here right now is for months being in that state, being in that fight or flight, which takes a lot of toll on your body. Like there's just so many hormones that aren't supposed to be around in your body for that long of a time. It takes a lot of toll on your mental capacity because you are thinking about all of these scenarios of how things can go wrong and what will happen when you like run out of the money that you have, or when finally there's just no money for you to do everything, right? So I'm talking about this situation when you don't have any income for a long stretch of time, and then you feel like, oh, okay, like I actually don't have the amount of freedom in time to be creative, to come up with solutions, to be able to rest when I need to rest, right? Because in survival mode, you are not resting. You are on the go all the time trying to find solutions because you feel like you have to find a solution right now because otherwise the danger will get you. So it's a very important part also for this journey. And again, I recommend this type of path, the dive, to people who have a higher stress tolerance, who have a higher risk tolerance. If you're the person, amazing, but still, you will need a type of buffer, a type of safety net. And again, I can talk about like a different way of how to build inner safety. Maybe I'll build on the podcast. We work on this a lot in my coaching to build that sense of inner safety, so you won't feel like you are dependent on the money to feel safe. But you will need, like, just if I talk about like the financial stuff, you will need a buffer for yourself to like have a financial buffer, basically savings that you want to build up before you do the dive. What will vary from people to people is the amount of safety net the amount of money buffer that you need. For some people, it will be 3 months. For others, it will be 6 months. For others, it will be like, I don't know, a year worth of money tucked aside. So you feel like, oh, okay, I actually have a year time to figure this out. And if on month 9 I am still not closer to figuring out this business and having clients, I can still go for a job, right? Like, again, there's just so many ways to do this, but this is something that you really, really need to take into consideration and think about it and figure out for yourself what is that amount of money on your bank account that you need to have right now to feel safe for at least 6 months. I want to say, like, at least 6 months. Like, give yourself at least 6 months of buffer to start to figure out this business, build that business, if you're doing the dive way of building the soul business. Because the most creative ideas that you have and the most amazing, most unique ways you add to this world will come from that type of freedom and space that you can give to yourself. But again, if you feel like you can crack this in 3 months, be my guest, go at it. Like, I just hit me up and tell me how you did it. It is very much doable. Again, it also will depend on how close you are on your soul pool. So for someone who has no idea what they want to do with their business, it will take more time. You could be subconsciously very close and figure it out in 3 months, but if you have no clue, like no whatsoever on what could be your purpose, I would give myself more time. I would give myself at least 6 months, a year of buffer to like figure that out. Because just, I don't know, to be safe. I'm more on the safest side, or was more on that. If you're closer to your soul pool, and if you are kind of like knowing what you want to do, like you're knowing, you know your purpose already. It's just about, okay, so I have to figure out and build a business. You can play around with shorter amount of time. We can play around again with 6 months, maybe with 3 months. Again, I don't like the 3 month option because it's just too short amount of time. I know a lot can happen in 3 months, and anything can happen even in a day. But again, just give yourself that grace and time and love and space to be able to, I don't know, maybe even take off a month and rest a bit, right? You won't really able to do that in 3 months. So that's why I like to think in a bit of a bigger stretches with this. And this actually leads me into the third path that you can do with this, which is the mix. So basically, and what my reality was, is that it's usually a mix. It's not one or the other. Sometimes it will be. So again, there's no right or wrong way to do it. But for a lot of people I worked with, for myself, it has been a mix. I did the transition, I did the dive. I actually am giving myself the grace anytime. And again, I already have like a running business that I have clients in, but maybe at some point in my life, I will need again a supporting job. Who knows? Like, I don't want to, again, put a burden on myself with thinking of, oh, okay, I have to make this work because otherwise, like, the world will end. Like, maybe for some period of my life, for some period of my soul pool that I'm building, the business that I'm building, it will be nice to have again like this breather of a supporting job. I'm not feeling it right away, or not feeling it right now. Maybe it will. I could never know. And you know, again, my story is a testament to this mix, because I started with a marketing job. Then I realized that wasn't my soul pool. That wasn't my soul pool business, my soul business. And then I transitioned into a supporting job. Then I had enough of that supporting job because it started to be too much. And then I did the dive and dove headfirst into not knowing what the heck I will do next without having any clients and stuff like that. And it paid out, because when I Oh, and actually, what happened is I finished my coaching course. And in the meantime, I actually got marketing clients without even trying. Again, it's kind of like my higher self wanted me to like have that support, like have that feeling of money coming in. So I got that, and that was actually the perfect supporting job at that time, or the perfect supporting jobs at that time, because I was able to really build the business, to really start creating the content I wanted to create. And for again, after the dive, I went back into this transition phase when I had my marketing clients who were purely marketing clients who I did like copies for and stuff like that. But also in the meantime, I started to have coaching clients. And when the time was right, which was end of last year, no, the beginning of 2025, I just felt like no, like it is just too much. I don't want to do the marketing stuff anymore. I only want to do the coaching. And I again dove headfirst into doing the coaching. So these can come and go in any way and shape or form that suits you the best. And that's what I want you to really, really remember with this whole thing. You have options. First of all, you have these two options, and you have the right to mix them however you want to mix them. You have the right to figure out your own way, because there's no one right way to do things, specifically when it comes to your soul business that is built around your soul pull and your purpose. There's no one right way that someone will teach you to do these things in. You kind of have to figure out your own way. That will be the best. That will be actually the best. And that would give you the most satisfaction and fulfillment. And the pointer I can give with that route for yourself, your way with yourself, is try to find that safe spot, that sweet spot of the journey, of the path, of the mix that you are anytime in your life where you feel safe enough to be creative. That's your main goal. Feel safe enough to be creative, to be able to work on your soul pool and be able to work on your business. And if that means that you need to dive into a new chapter, do that. If it means that you need to get a supporting job, do that. If you need to switch that up every 3 months, do that. Like, there's no really a set of rules for this. The only rule, or not rule, the only pointer I really want to give you with this, what I said, is always aim for the mental and emotional state where you feel safe enough to be creative. When you can do that, you will be able to build that soul business. You will be able to move forward with the business every single day. and it will happen. It will flourish and come to life. I promise you that. And if you need help with that, if you need help with either figuring out your soul pool, either figuring out your next steps to your soul business, either just like moving about with this with more certainty and clarity, you can actually book a free clarity call with me where I can intuitively look in on where you are right now, what is blocking you with your soul business, what is blocking you with finding your soul pool, what are the things that can move the needle the most ahead for you. So it's a completely free complimentary call that you can book. You can find the description in the link below. And it's an amazing way to just like, I don't know, gain more clarity. That's why they are called clarity calls. Like, I really, really love to give people clarity on their next steps, because whenever you start the movement, whenever you feel like there's just, when you start to move the energy, it will bring you with it. It will move you forward. You only need to take the few first steps, and all the other pieces are starting to come in. But until you stay still and just like, I don't know, like the Travolta confusion gif is just like, don't know where to start. Like, you are basically closing yourself off of all the energy and all the pieces of information that are trying to come in. So we work on that, on clarity call. And as to the end, I want you to have this sense of knowing that if you are just a tiny bit interested in having a business that fulfills you and help others, you are really, really meant to build that business. You are here to create a soul business and help people with that. Actually, everyone is here to create something unique. Everyone has a soul pool. And if you have also the pool to build a business, you are really here to build a business from your soul pool. Like, nothing is coincidental, nothing is for vain. So when you have that sense of pool, that means that you are meant to build a business, and that also means that you have all the capabilities to build that business and make that business successful. The only thing is missing is some self-image stuff, some emotional mastery stuff, and the clarity on okay, how you can actually bring the most value into this world. But that is what we can work on the coaching very specifically and in a focused way. And I love working on those because, oh boy, they feel so good when you finally like realize, oh my god, I was meant to do, and this is actually an amazing, like I meant to do this, and this is a skill I had for all along, and this was actually meant for me to build that business. Wow, that's so amazing. So I just love that feeling for you. And yeah, but really just keep saying to this yourself, you are meant to have that soul business. You are meant to have a soul business that helps others and brings you success and fulfillment. You are meant to do that. Okay, thank you so much for listening, being here. Happy New Year again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.